Welcome back to another episode of Let's Finally Grow. I'm your host, Ariana, and we have an episode to take care of. I got a bone to pick with you. It's 2:27 a.m. Friday night, and I am here with you. I'm choosing to spend this time with you, not at an afters party. So be grateful. Times have changed. I watched Love Island USA tonight. USA. And it's the first week of this new season, season 8. And naturally, as I usually am in life, by all things, I was inspired. I'm gonna share my mental secrets. And when I was watching Love Island, I was inspired because tonight's episode was when Melanie lost her shit. Like, I don't know if she's gonna lose her shit more times in the season. It seems like she might, but it's like the first time she lost her shit. She lost her cool. So Melanie has a conflict with Sean, and she has a conflict with Bea. Now, we also saw Bea have a conflict with Kenzie. So I'm gonna dive into like both or all three. I don't know. This is kind of layered triangle scenario, gangbang scenario. There's a lot of people involved. Okay. Gangbang was not the right word. Ariana, shut the fuck up. I was trying to be funny, but we can't make fucked up jokes with people of Love Island. Hasn't anyone noticed? But I'm not looking to go on Love Island, so maybe I can make a little joke. I'm just trying to be real. I'm trying to be authentic. That's what the people want. Back on track, Ariana. Where the fuck is your ADHD medication? So let's get into the gangbang of it all. Melanie with Sean and with Bea. I saw Sean, or no, it's not Sean. I've been saying that this whole time. It's Sincere. Oh my God. So Melanie with Sincere and with Bea. Now, with Sincere, you can tell she is highly triggered. And she's reacting to that. Obviously, she's reacting to that trigger. And in both situations with Bea, too, she's triggered and she's reactive. But we see Sincere talking to Sean. That's where Sean comes in. And Sean's like, dude, but like this is like kind of like a challenge for you to grow. Like, she's triggering something in you and she's challenging you to grow. And I was like, let's fucking go. When I heard that, I was like, let's fucking go. Then we see how she acts with Bea, and she's just more triggered. The other thing I noticed was that Bea, when she talked to Kenzie earlier in the episode, Kenzie was not defensive. You could tell maybe like she's self-aware. This isn't the first time she's been called out for something. And she's like, yeah, I could have been better. Like, I respect you and I know myself and I'm going to take accountability in the situation. So Bea was like, now I respect you. And trust me, I'm going somewhere with this. Just seeing the dynamics, like we saw one person, Bea, have two conflicts and with two different people, and one conflict which honestly would have been the one that a girl would have been more heated probably by, because someone's going for your man. She respected her because how she handled the situation. Now with Melanie, it's not looking that way. And then I brought up this Sincere and Sean conversation because I respected the advice Sean gave to Sincere about how this situation and this person is challenging you. And you're lucky when you get those moments where you're triggered and you're challenged. So now I got that out of the way of how I was inspired, and we are going to go into my personal opinions on this topic, because I think that when we are triggered, that is a moment for us to break a fucking cycle. Break a fucking cycle. I used to think, and I said this in the reactive episode, I used to think that if I didn't stand up for myself, react to someone's behavior, I was giving away all of my power. Meanwhile, it's actually the complete opposite of that. Now, when I am triggered, like whatever comes my way, I'm still triggered all the fucking time. I don't think that we, just never get triggered again. The triggers will come my way, and I think, how would my highest self handle this situation? When before I would avoid situations, I would ignore people's weird fucking behavior, or I would blow everything the fuck up, and I would spiral about it in my mind for God knows how long. Ignorance is not bliss when it comes to growth. So for me, something that really triggers me in situations with other people, like my patterns that I've recognized I've gone through over and over again in different ways, shapes, and forms, is abandonment issues. Okay. Someone might say, oh my God, I can't believe she's saying that to people online. It is what it is. It's not like I'm not keeping it hiding in a box and pretending like I don't have this in my life. It is something that I have. I grew up with a single mother. I met my dad, and then shit hit the fan. Like I've had some things happen in my life that have given me these abandonment wounds, thinking that people are just always going to leave. And it sucks, but everyone has their fucking thing. Like, it is what it is. I can't, allow that to define my reactive behavior or spiral over it or try to hide it. Like, I'm owning that shit. And ironically, because I have these abandonment issues, I've wound up in a lot of scenarios abandoning myself. And that's just really the most important part. Like, it doesn't matter who walks in, walks out of my life. I'm just supposed to not abandon me. Okay. All right. So therefore, there has been times where I'm vulnerable and I just want to keep people in my life, whether it's friends, romantic interest, and I'll ignore red flags. I'll ignore weird behavior. Like, a guy's texting me hours, maybe days in between. And I'm like, maybe if I just give him his space, this can grow into something. Guy only makes last minute plans. Only, it's just so flaky and inconsistent. And I'm like, he needs to get to know me first. And then maybe he'll just fall in love. And I ignore it instead of reading the writing on the motherfucking wall. In friendships, I feel that weird energy. I feel like something's off. Like the quote unquote friend is always negative to me, constantly negative to me. Maybe the quote unquote friend tells me how their friends talk shit on me. I ignore all the red flags and I'm just like, oh, but they like me. But they like me. No, bitch. If your friends are talking about you, I guarantee you your friends are talking about you too. If they're not, standing on business, going to bat, saying don't ever fucking do that to me again. That's also something I've spoke about before, and it's true. It's a good way to tell. Don't ignore that weird behavior. I've spent so much time holding on to this weird energy and trying to make meaning of it, trying to figure out what I could have done for people to act this way towards me, or staying in situations too long. But I'm already staying in situations too long if I'm wondering why people are acting this way towards me. One, I'm letting people act this way towards me. Two, I'm being triggered. Like, it has nothing to do with my highest self. It has to do with an old version of me that I need to shut the fucking door on. Instead of moving forward and going into the next version of me, overcoming that shit, I was staying stuck in motherfucking limbo. And I was losing my power. Move forward and allow it to lose its power. And it typically is the more comfortable feeling. It always is the more comfortable feeling to stick in with what you've known, which are these bad cycles that you want to get the fuck away from. But you're not really staying comfortable. Like it feels comfortable maybe in that second of making that choice of staying there and avoiding a little bit of work and a little bit of growth, but it's not comfortable remaining there. Okay. The irony. There's always irony. What feels like protection is not, because I'm not protecting myself by living an outdated version of me, living in fears and triggers of abandonment and wondering, why these things keep happening to me and then allowing them to affect me instead of looking in the mirror with the hard truth. Anytime I let old stories run the show, I'm not growing. And like I said, this doesn't mean I'm not triggered anymore, because a bitch is triggered. A bitch gets triggered and a bitch sits there and she storms and she wants to say something and she wants to prove her point and she wants to let someone know how they made her feel. But like I've talked about in the last 2 episodes, when I do that, I might be going off on a person for something a wound they never even touched before. Like they don't even know why I'm like, it just doesn't, the math isn't mathing. And when we look at Love Island, we see Melanie with Sincere and it's like, girl, you just met this man. You've known him for a few days. And the way she's reacting is from behavior from someone else, maybe a few people that hurt her. And she's putting that on Sincere. And now I'm not saying who's wrong and who's right. I'm not saying any of that, because that's not what this is about. I'm just saying she's allowing her trigger to take over the show. Whenever I feel triggered, I literally just need to breathe, take time to myself and breathe, not react, not say anything to anyone, and ask myself, what would my highest self do in this situation? Because when you ask that question, you're now not thinking about what you have been doing. You're thinking about who you want to be, who you admire how they handle situations, how they handle their situations, and thinking, how do I want to act in this moment? And, it doesn't just click and all of a sudden you're better. Like then you do have to act that way, which is a little bit of hard work, but we're creating new cycles. We're creating new patterns, and that's no easy thing, but it's easier as it goes on, and it creates a much better way of living. If you're not doing that, you're analyzing a situation from an old mindset and you're just reopening an old wound every single time and getting nowhere. And then you're sitting there and you're like, this always happens to me. This is the kind of person I am. Why me? You're doing it to yourself, motherfucker. And I think another breakthrough moment that I've had is realizing I'm the problem, but I'm also the solution. I'm the problem and the solution, motherfucker, kind of like alcohol. Funny how that works, right? When you start taking control of your triggers and looking at everything in life, like what would my highest self do? And just start to move towards that version that you want to be and move towards, and not live in those constant cycles anymore. You start to unlock new ways of thinking, possibilities. I don't know, we spend so much time sitting there being triggered when, just like in Love Island tonight, Kenzie, she literally was like, I'm going to take accountability and I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. And I feel horrible that I made you feel that way. She probably had the downtime of 10 minutes after that conversation. That shit's not going to stay with her for too long. She's going to think about it, but not in a way where she's like, oh my God, now this is she's not spiraling. Melanie was motherfucking spiraling, which means that shit's going to sting and sit with her longer. So do you see what I'm saying? You put in that hard work of taking accountability. You put in that hard work of what would my highest self do? And all of a sudden the next time it happens, that's your like faster reaction. You don't need as much time to yourself to then just take accountability and keep it moving forward. When you're triggered, she kept saying, she was like, Melanie kept saying, I need 10, I need 10, I need 10, I need 10. The girl was crashing out. That's going to take a bit to recover from. And then you're going to have another test again with maybe a few because so much shit's going down until you pass it to get to your higher self. But she's not even thinking that way. I mean, hopefully production brings up that thought to her. If production is watching this and listening, please relay that message because maybe that could get her to her next level and see things a little bit differently. The goal isn't to stay hung up on a problem that you've had for too long, and kind of feels that way a lot of the time. I think something that really helps me a lot is the simple thought that if someone is triggering me in any way, I view it as what haven't I figured out about this situation yet? Like, why is this bothering me? What does this resemble that I've gone through before? And what is it trying to teach me? So now the viewpoint that I'm looking at this from isn't why is this person hurting me? Why doesn't this person respect me? Blah, 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 whatever. It's more so like, what is this trying to teach me? And when you remove a whole other person from a situation and, don't question their motives, because even if their motives are bad, who cares? Why is it affecting you? If it's affecting you and it's you against you, that's when you really fix things. Like, I love when I can figure out what I'm doing wrong in a situation because then I'm able to move forward. Melanie from Love Island, it's going to take her a little bit to move forward. And listen, I've been there. I have had motherfucking crash outs that I've talked about. A few episodes ago, I was talking about how I posted something on my Instagram main page, a video of me drunk saying stay toxic about a guy that I wasn't even dating. You can imagine the kind of crash outs that I've gone through in my life. And they were continuous when I wasn't taking accountability for my part. I think that's like a little loophole too. Like, I am so down to take accountability, and sometimes I kind of feel like weird or like selfish about it, which is odd because I know that like if I'm going to take accountability for a situation, which I wholeheartedly do, like I'm not going to fake it. I'm being real. I will say I was wrong. I will deal with the consequences, whatever that looks like. But I know that's the only way to still have people's respect. Like, I know that once I say that, like once I take accountability, people are gonna want to still work through things with me if they want to. Sometimes people don't, so maybe I don't know why I feel that way, but it's like a little loophole in life. Like, you take accountability, you're real, you're not being fucking fake about it, and it's your shame is gone, your guilt is gone. Like, you fucking just work through it. And we think that if we're going to take accountability, we're going to look dumb and like a pushover and blah, 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 whatever. And that's the motherfucking opposite. We wind up staying in our head, stuck, mad about something, unresolved issues in our life, still being taken advantage of. But take accountability, stand on business, boom, it's a little bit more harder to fuck with you. People look the other way. And I would say the biggest way that I am able to get outside of my own head and do that is by thinking, what is my highest self and what would she do? And my highest self is an unbothered, badass bitch that just loves a lot of things, loves a lot of people, cares deeply, and wants to live her best fucking life. No one has the power to impact her in a negative way. And the people that try to just don't remain in my livelihood. Like, we just keep it moving. I don't have the time to take my eye off the prize of like having good people in my life and living a good life and accomplishing things and having big dreams and all of that and doing cool shit and traveling the world. If it's not helping me do those things and live a better life, the door is there, baby. Get the fuck out. You're not aligned with me. And we don't have time for downtime with other people. The next time you're in a situation where you feel extremely triggered, you feel hurt, you feel like someone in your life, like, why would they treat me this way? Like, why does the guy I like not like me back? Why? You still need to learn a lesson in dating, you know? The universe is sending you a person that purposely doesn't like you, is unavailable, whatever, because you still have shit to learn to get to the next level of who you're going to be dating, which honestly, there's so many different frequencies in dating. And maybe I'll talk about that episode next week because there are different frequencies you're on. I don't know. Let me know if that's something that excites you. But if you're having issues with friends, with whatever it is, you know, the universe is trying to teach you something for you to motherfucking advance in your life. It is not that the universe is trying to harm you or keep you stuck in these weird cycles. It's that you're the only person that can get yourself out of it, and you need to live as your highest fucking self. Okay? Mic drop. Mic drop. Ow. I don't know why I did that. It felt really right in the moment. So nothing is lost. Nothing good is lost in life. All right. This episode was about us being motherfucking us, the best version of us. And I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have thoughts, comments, concerns, I hope that you would say something to me and you wouldn't, you know, not say something to me. Okay, it's now like 3-something a.m. and Mama's got work to do. Mama's got to be our highest self. So I'll talk to you soon. I'll talk to you later. I love you. Thank you for being here today, and I'll never forget it. Okay? Talk soon.